Good evening, dear teacher. My name is Santiago Pina. For the class of today, we're going to work on the lesson number 1 on page number 10 of our English book, in which we are going to first analyze the title of of the lesson, that is, have you read the news? I'm going to ask my students this question, that is about of if my students read the news. I'm going to discuss about it with my students. After to discuss and share ideas with about it, I'm going to begin with the first part, that is the activity number 1, in which first I'm going to read, that is, match the columns to discover the headlines and the section they belong to. Yeah, I'm going to explain how to do it, this activity. First, we are going to read any literal that here we have. The literal A is water burst through river walls. B, dollar against euro, cheaper drug to trade, new gallery has opened. E, royal love scandals has. Um, in front we have number 1, its doors to the public. 2, he the headlines once again. 3, the never-ending battle for and fruits local farmland. And number 5, cure disease has been successful. Yeah. After to read and analyze any of these sentences, we're going to match the or unit the columns that we have here with the columns with the corresponding number. Here in this example, we have the literal A, water burst through river walls, and if in this case we're going to put the number 4 that continue the statements is flows local farmland. Yes, and after to do it this section, we are going to put any literal in these other sections. This is about the section, the class of the news that traded. And in this case, in the example, it is with leather. The new gallery has been trade about arts. For it, I'm going to put here the letter D. I'm going to read a little bit key expressions to help my students understand more headlines. Key headlines means to become famous for being reported in the news. It is the meaning of the expression key headlines. Next on our book we have activity number 2, that is read and listen to the conversation about recent events, then complete the chart below. Yes. First, I'm going to do my students read any of these news that read about different sections of a newspaper. For example, my students are going to read the first part. Other students will be read the the next parts of this activity, in which I'm going to correct them in pronunciation mainly. After this, I'm going to explain my students how to carry out this activity. The say read and listen to the conversations about a recent event, a recent news, then complete the chart below. Yes. I'm going to share obvious to my students in which they have to pay attention to the audios. I'm going to repeat the times that my students need things to my students comprehend the news, to complete the chart that we have here. Yeah. Also, I'm going to teach about pronunciation of, in this case, I'm going to teach about rising intonation. The rising intonation is used to express strong feelings when we have to express something like, wow, we're going to say, whoa, that's astonishing, that awesome, that's shocking. Yeah, we have to raise the intonation in the end of the phrase. Also, who I'm saying, we're going to fill first this newspaper section, next the topic, and finally the ways to express feelings about news. Here in this example we have a newspaper section that treats the first part. I'm going to read the conversation. Mary, whoa, the royal couple has had another love scandal. Jane, that's unbelievable. Mary, believe it, believe it. It is published everywhere. Haven't you read it yet? Jane, no, not yet. That's shocking news. And you know, the social section never lies. Yes. How we notice it new thread social about the social section. Um, a way to express a feeling about the news, in this case, is that shocking news that here we have. Next, we're going to learn about letter grammar. In this case, the topic that I'm going to explain is the present perfect tense, in which the present perfect tense we use to talk about the tense that occurred at another specific time in the past and continue to the present. For example, we have I've already read it. The host country for the Olympic Games has been chosen. I haven't read the local newspaper yet. Haven't you read it yet? Here we use already to say that something happened sooner than expected in affirmative sentences, and we use yet to mean until now in negative sentences and questions. In the other case, here we have a simple present tense. We use simple present tense to express routines and facts. Routines and facts are are things that we do all days, and facts are things are true that we affirm. For example, I'm always interested in the currency exchange rates, and the social section never lies. Sometimes things don't work as they should. Yes. Also, I'm going to explain how the the grades of frequency in which we use always we use to express the 100% of frequency. Sometimes we use this word to express um, half of frequency that represent the 50%, and never we use these verbs to express the 0% frequency. Yes, always, sometimes, and never are adverbs to frequency, and we use it to indicate the frequency of routines of habitual actions that we do. Next in this section we have the activity number 3. I'm going to read the activity. Complete these sentences. Use the word band in the simple present and the present perfect tenses. Here we have a word bank. First we have win, like, send, be, attend, arrive, show, close, buy, and create. My students will repeat any of these word bands with the correct pronunciation. If my students commit errors on their pronunciation, I'm going to correct their mistakes. And this because I'm considered it is important to have in early levels have a good pronunciation of the words. Using the words that we have here, we are going to fill these new. Let's read about the Gateway Windmill School newspaper. But we are going to use this word in the present perfect tense. For example, in the first we have win, and in this case we're going to use our basketball team has. In this case we are going to use has, not have, because we are going to refer to a basketball team, and we have our basketball team has won the inter-school championship again. I'm going to fill all the old literals with their corresponding form with my students. Also, I'm going to give some grammar strategy, that is, use the context clues to make decisions about the forms of the verbs according to the tenses. Yeah. Also, I'm going to give to my students an activity in which they are going to I'm going to share with my students sections of a newspaper in which I'm going in which they go into to analyze any section. For example, this is a section of a newspaper in which my students are going to analyze. First, we can analyze, for example, the imagine. The imagine that we have here is a picture of the ex-president of USA, Donald Trump. For example, only looking imagine, I'm going to realize that this new treat about politics. Yeah, and my students are going to do it. Analyze any of these news, um, and they have to put the number of the section that corresponds or on any new. It can be international, social, news, business, arts, sports, health, or politics. Yeah, they have to do it to finish the class. It is all. Thanks for watching.